Reeled in.
We are hearing from the man who caught it, finding out how common these sharks are in the area.
Now on Channel 3 and streaming on WFSB Plus. This is Eyewitness News at 5.
And first up at 5, if you spent any time outside today, you likely noticed that thick haze out there. Thank you for joining us here at 5, everyone. I'm Stephanie Simoni.
And good evening, I'm Erin Connolly. Tonight, most of Connecticut remains in an air quality alert due to the smoke coming from those Canadian wildfires. Matt McFarland is your reporter covering New Haven County. He is live in the Elm City with a look at the conditions there, and we can see it behind you, Matt.
Absolutely, Stephanie and Erin, that thick haze hanging around here all day. We have seen some improvements, but if you look across the other side of New Haven Harbor over to a Lighthouse Point, you can see that lighthouse not as visible as it typically is. Now, experts say no need to worry, no panic, but if you have respiratory issues, it's a good idea to play it safe and limit your time outdoors.
Drop it down, Chase.
For Chase and Peyton Moeller, a morning on the fishing pier with the grandparents is pretty tough to beat.
You get to watch the water and see new types of fish sometimes.
Especially when the fish are biting.
Oh, Daddy, it's a big flounder.
Come on, goodness.
Don't lose it.
And while the fishing is good, the air quality across Connecticut is not as enjoyable.
It's so cloudy and it's very hard to breathe. Very hard to breathe. We brought the grandkids here to go fishing, and the clouds are terrible.
From the shoreline to the top of New Haven's East Rock Park, that thick haze hanging over the Elm City is courtesy of the Canadian wildfires.
You can actually see a band going over the Great Lakes right into Connecticut.
Dr. Jeffrey Chupp with Yale New Haven Health says the elevated particulate matter from the smoke can be an issue for those with asthma or lung disease.
Those things can affect your lungs, cause inflammation, and increase people's symptoms if they have lung disease, and can actually even make people with normal lungs feel like breathing is difficult.
The Department of Energy and Environmental Protection ranks today's air quality as moderate to unhealthy for sensitive groups. Dr. Chupp says staying inside in the air condition can help.
People should adjust their exposures to things based on how they feel, and if they have an underlying medical problem.
And if you or a loved one is experiencing trouble breathing and it's persistent, he says don't hesitate to seek medical attention.
If somebody starts wheezing, has a lot of chest tightness, shortness of breath with minimal amounts of exertion or at rest.
Now, that air quality alert remains in place until 11 o'clock tonight, so, of course, relief is on the way. Your reporter, live in New Haven, Matt McFarland, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
Haziness there behind Matt. We'll take a live look right now in our iCam in Old Saybrook, too, staying along the shoreline here to show you just how gray everything is looking. Mike Slifer in for Chief Meteorologist Mark Dixon, who is on vacation this week. So we've been watching air quality very closely here. Jill Gelati first alerted you earlier today that it was a bit of an issue for sensitive groups, and that remains the case across much of Connecticut. But we are optimistic that we'll see some improvement as the night goes on, especially because First Alert Futurecast actually shows this smoke moving on out overnight. This is 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Big improvements on the way. The smoke, the clouds, preventing temperatures from climbing too much. A lot of low 80s popping up on the map, even some upper 70s for the 395 corridor. And we expect temperatures around 80 through 6 o'clock, falling into the 70s statewide by 8 p.m. So if you have plans to be outdoors this evening, perhaps dining outdoors, while it's a little bit cool for what you might expect this time of year, it is dry. First Alert Futurecast showing the mostly cloudy skies tomorrow, but we will remain dry yet again. So tonight we'll be down into the 60s across the state, and then we'll see that recovery tomorrow to around 80 degrees. But temperatures do climb even more, not only this week, but into next week when we make a run at 90 in the First Alert 7-day forecast.
We will see you then, Mike. Thank you. In Berlin, a man has died after a car crash early this morning. Two cars collided at the intersection of Mill and Berlin Streets around 3:40 a.m. Police say 40-year-old Case Burwood from Windsor Locks was killed. The other driver was brought to the hospital with minor injuries. Police are investigating what caused the crash.
To Milford now, where the Red Cross is helping a family whose home just went up in flames overnight. You can see the flames coming out of the windows at Alden Place. The homeowner and dog got out safely, according to fire officials. They say it started on the second floor, and they are working to figure out what started it.
Well, a shark hauled out of the Long Island Sound by a Hampton fisherman is making some headlines, and that's because it is likely a state record.
It is a big shark. Luke Hydash covers Eastern Connecticut. He is your reporter live in Groton to explain tonight. Luke.
Definitely big, caught about 3 miles here offshore near Fisher's Island, and it took hours for this fisherman and his friend to get it back here to shore. This thresher shark isn't for the weak. Edwin Lovely caught it with a buddy last Wednesday, and it might be a record breaker. DEEP says the previous record thresher was 467 pounds, caught back in 2006. This shark is 16 feet and about 700 pounds. For reference, Eddie's boat is 16 and a half feet, and it still hauled the beast to shore. He used the thresher for meat, and he says he's working with NOAA right now to get it all confirmed and official. Still amazed his name might be in the record books.
No one's going to believe us. This is crazy. Nobody's going to believe us. No, this is insane. I wasn't there for the record, so I was just there to enjoy the ocean and enjoy what I do, enjoy fishing.
In talking with Eddie and other fishermen down here on the shore, they say that they are coming across more sharks in the Sound. What an expert from Mystic Aquarium has to say about that tonight in our news at 6. Your reporter live in Groton, Luke Hydash, Channel 3. Eyewitness News.
All right, Luke, thank you. More mosquitoes are testing positive for West Nile. In the last 24 hours, we've learned about 3 towns were infected with mosquitoes that were found there. They are Cheshire, Glastonbury, Hebron, and Wallingford. The mosquitoes were trapped and tested. No one has gotten sick from West Nile this year.
Well, the search continues right now for a missing man in Westbrook whose overturned canoe was found in Messerschmitt Pond. Officials just releasing these pictures of 38-year-old Andrew Corbett. One of them is from the last time he was seen on July 30th at the CVS in Groton. Dive teams are still searching the Westbrook Pond looking for him, but they are shifting to a smaller search after tonight. Anyone with information about Corbett is being asked to contact investigators.
A New Haven man is facing charges for threatening family members with a gun. It happened Sunday at a home on Winchester Avenue. The victim says Nelson Romero Martinez pulled out the gun during the fight. Romero Martinez was already wanted for an assault in Bridgeport. Police say SWAT teams helped get him into custody, and he is now being held on a $585,000 bond.
Well, in a brand new WFSB Plus exclusive, we are talking with influencer Elton Castay.
Yes, he just bought the Haunted Occult Museum in Monroe with comedian Matt Rife. And Kara Sunland spoke with him just hours ago and joins us now with more on what she learned. Kara.
Yeah, maybe you've heard of the Annabelle doll, but would you want to sleep with it or near it? Well, the world-famous comedian Matt Rife and his good friend Elton Castay have bought the Connecticut home of Ed and Lorraine Warren and their occult museum, where the Annabelle doll lives, along with other so-called haunted objects from the Warrens' travels and exorcisms around the world. Soon, you'll be able to book a short-term stay at the Warrens' home and learn about paranormal investigations. As for what you could see,
so to have a full intensive kit of every type of paranormal tool you could ever want in the home when you show up, with instructions on how to use it. I'll even be providing cameras, like night vision cameras.
Just to be clear, Annabelle's one of the items you would be around, and what would be some of the others if you decide to make this a stay at the Warren home and museum?
Oh, I mean, there's so many. There's a piano from the Stratford house. There's a conjuring mirror. There's the satanic altar that was found in the Sandy Hook woods decades ago. There's the dinosaur from the Devil Made Me Do It case, which is a Conjuring 3. There's the shadow doll in there, which I personally believe is on par with Annabelle. The shadow doll, we believe, took down all of the internet in Monroe during our charity stream.
Well, you can watch this special interview on demand right on our WFSB Plus. That's our app for your smart TV. Just download the app and click on WFSB Plus exclusives to find this special. In the studio, Kara Sunland, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
All right, certainly fascinating. Kara, thank you very much. Still ahead on Eyewitness News at 5 as back-to-school season gets closer. What vaccines do you need to make sure your children have? The guidelines could soon change. We'll tell you how that will impact your next visit to the doctors.
A massive wildfire burning through the mountains of California is still growing. What is fueling the fire to spread?
A little bit muggy out there this afternoon, and we expect the mugginess to last through tonight, but it's pretty short-lived. In fact, once the smoke clears out, we look ahead to pleasant temperatures, even a bit cooler than average, and that will be fairly short-lived because by next week, well, we're talking about temperatures back perhaps near, if not above 90. We have a lot to cover ahead in the first look forecast, and we'll do it when Eyewitness News at 5 continues after the break.
And more concerns about the Connecticut Sun and what is ahead for the team.
There is a big push to keep them here or even move them to Hartford. Tonight at 6, we're finding out how likely that is to happen and seeing how fans are feeling right now.
You're watching Eyewitness News at 5 with Erin Connolly, Mark Zenny, and First Alert Chief Meteorologist Mark Dixon. Connecticut's #1 local news. Eyewitness News continues.
Well, for years, parents have followed the same childhood vaccine schedule, but that could soon change.
A new CDC panel is expected to meet any day now to consider whether to revise, roll back, or hold steady on current vaccine guidelines. Your health reporter, Tracy McCain, explains what that could mean for you and your family.
Right now, nothing changes. Connecticut's childhood immunization schedule remains the same, but flu and COVID vaccine recommendations have shifted, which is raising some concerns after both viruses surged earlier and lasted longer last season.
I can't say it enough. Washing your hands.
The best prevention starts before you ever go to the sink.
Whoa, fantastic.
And for doctors, that means the basics. Staying up to date on childhood vaccines for measles, mumps, rubella, polio, chickenpox, hepatitis B, and DTaP. That's diphtheria, tetanus, and whooping cough.
The American Academy of Pediatrics and virtually all pediatricians are very comfortable with the current vaccine schedule because we found that, again, it's been very safe and effective at preventing some of these serious diseases.
Dr. Thomas Murray is a pediatric infectious disease specialist at the Yale School of Medicine. He says along with the routine childhood schedule, parents now also need to consider this fall's updated flu and COVID vaccine recommendations.
Vaccines have a long history of being a safe way to prevent infection, and as we've seen with the measles outbreak, when children are not vaccinated or our population is under-vaccinated, you can have high rates of hospitalization and even death.
In July, the CDC ended its recommendation for COVID vaccines for all adults and for children ages 6 months to 17.
Have recommended that the COVID vaccine not be given to pregnant women, but that has not been a universal recommendation. There's been a recommendation not to use influenza vaccines that contain thimerosal.
Dr. Murray says vaccines save lives and can even keep sick kids out of the hospital. For perspective, take last year's respiratory illness season. The state health department tracks it all on their website. You can see cases started climbing just before Christmas, peaking around Valentine's Day with a surge in flu cases, RSV, and COVID. It wasn't until just before the 4th of July that things finally returned to more typical levels, but hospitalizations remain low among a mostly vaccinated state. So while there's no way to know what's to come from the CDC's next meeting,
so I think we have to wait and see what those suggestions are.
Dr. Murray says staying informed will be just as important as staying on schedule.
Okay, so no need for parents to be concerned right now.
Not to my knowledge.
Updated flu and COVID shots for the season will be available, but because the recommendations on who should get them have changed, you will want to check with your doctor first. And as for the routine childhood vaccines, make sure your child is up to date. In Connecticut, those shots are required for school. Your health reporter in studio, Tracy McCain, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Well, Matt McFarland was talking about it earlier, but we are definitely hazy out there from those Canadian wildfires.
Absolutely, and earlier today, even our boss Keith was talking about how he could feel it like in his throat.
Yeah.
That's certainly something that is a bit of an issue out there right now. We'll be dealing with the rest of the evening, but we have some improvements on the way.
Oh, good.
And it's the only thing we're tracking in the sky. Right now, Connecticut's only live radar is scanning clear and dry. You can see the beam originating from within our state's border. Connecticut's only live radar here. Not showing anything out there, so we're nice and dry. We did talk about the chance for maybe an isolated shower, but really not too much of an issue out there. Here's a live look at our iCam in Hartford. We can still see the smoke in the distance, 82 degrees, winds out of the east-northeast at 3 miles an hour. Air quality index right now, still some improvements in southeastern Connecticut. We've been watching this moderate area slowly move to the north and west, and eventually that's what we will see take over. Currently, air quality a bit better to our east, but our wind is coming out of the east. Our wind has shifted directions as high pressure north of us starts to slowly sink south, and we have this boundary pushing through right now. That is going to allow for the smoke to eventually clear out. Note that the wind is out of the east right through the morning hours tomorrow. This is 8 a.m. tomorrow. We have a bit of a northeast wind direction. section. That does mean things will be a bit cooler tomorrow, but it helps to push all the smoke away from us. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean sunny skies tomorrow. We're still expecting partly to mostly cloudy skies with temperatures topping out in the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. So figure 75 to 80, about 5 to 10 degrees below where we typically would be this time of year. Now, first look futurecast showing that as high pressure starts to move south, especially tomorrow night into Thursday, we'll actually see clearing skies later on in the day. So by Thursday evening, we're talking a lot of sunshine, very comfortable out there, pleasant levels of humidity, which will be the case through Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday, we start to see the humidity rise back close to the muggy range. So just a little bit muggy overnight tonight. It's not until Sunday we'll really have to worry about that again. Temperatures right now cooler than yesterday by a few degrees, but it feels a little bit warmer than last night because dew points, if you recall, were in the upper 50s to around 60. So we were right on the cusp of pleasant and muggy. Now we are right in the middle of the muggy range. Temperatures will fall down through the 70s as the night goes on, eventually settling in the 60s overnight. Mostly cloudy skies, a bit sticky, 60 to 65 inland, mid and upper 60s along the shoreline, which is close to average for this time of year. Pretty seasonable air. 75 to 80 tomorrow. The cool spots, northwestern, northeastern, and southeastern Connecticut. So really the corners of the state, it's the central part of the state that will be the warmest, around 80. And on the first look 7-day forecast, overnight temperatures, especially Thursday night and Friday night, into the 50s. We have some really nice nights on the way. Lower 80s on Thursday and Friday, but by Saturday, we're back in the mid-80s, closer to where we typically would be this time of year. Sunday, mid and upper 80s, turning a bit muggy, but look at the temperatures early next week. On either side of 90 on Monday, and we actually get there statewide by Tuesday. We become partly cloudy Monday, partly to mostly cloudy Tuesday. At one point, we thought maybe there would be some shower chances, but now it's just your first alert to the return of some heat. Average high temperatures are starting to fall. Our average high falls to 84 on Saturday, 80 on September 2nd. So August, throughout the entire month, does see average highs typically in the 80s. Now, on the 6 to 10 day outlook, there are these deep shades of red indicating the very high likelihood that temperatures actually stay above average through the early part of next week and into the middle of the week. There's a chance, a non-zero chance, that we could even see more 90-degree heat next week, perhaps even bringing our 4th heat wave of 2025. We'll be the first to alert you if we see that become more possible. In the meantime, a bit cooler than average, battling clouds tomorrow before we dry out, or rather, before the sunshine returns.
Right. Sounds good, Mike. Thank you. Well, California's largest fire of the year is burning out of control right now. The Gifford fire has engulfed more than 82,000 acres in central California, and it's expected to keep growing over the next few days. Fire crews are using shovels, picks, even weed whackers to battle the flames on the ground, and they're dropping fire retardant from the air. The conditions are being made worse by dry vegetation.
Low humidity, high temperatures, wind influence in alignment with drainages that just allows for a perfect mixture that creates extreme fire behavior.
Besides fires in California and Canada causing air quality concerns, the Gold Fire east of Los Angeles forced campers to evacuate from the San Bernardino National Forest this week. A large brush fire in Maui has put residents on edge as they mark 2 years since the deadly wildfires there.
There could soon be new rules for flying drones in the U.S., and it could lead to aerial package deliveries right to your front door. The Trump administration's proposal is to allow drones to fly beyond the view of those operating them. Some popular delivery drones are already being tested, including Google's Wing, DoorDash, and Walmart. The proposal is now up for a 60-day comment period and could be finalized later this year.
2 weeks after the death of rock legend Ozzy Osbourne, we're learning he died from a heart attack. This according to his death certificate filed in London, which also stated he suffered from coronary artery disease and Parkinson's. Osbourne died at the age of 76, 2.5 weeks after his final concert.
Controversy over an American Eagle ad featuring actress Sydney Sweeney. Even the president weighing in.
Well, maybe you've seen these. Maybe you've not. Labubu's, they're called, and apparently they are the new hot toy if you're in the know. A new warning tonight about finding legitimate ones.
I'm Caitlin Francis with This Day in Connecticut History. A 6-ton block of pink granite from the Beatty Quarry in Guilford was installed as the base for the Statue of Liberty on August 5th, 1884. The New Haven Register reports the owner of the quarry was selected over nearly 20 other businesses from all around the country because of the pink coloring and strength of the granite here.
Welcome back. An American Eagle ad featuring actor Sydney Sweeney has sparked a whole lot of controversy.
Yes, in the ad, a play on words, jeans and jeans, has started a cultural firestorm. Some people complained it sent an offensive message. Critics have accused the ad of playing up eugenics, that Sweeney's white skin color, blonde hair, and blue eyes were greater than other jeans.
Others have called the negative reaction overblown, and support for the ad now extends to the White House. That includes President Trump calling it, quote, the hottest ad out there, and praising Sweeney's reported political leanings.
If Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, I think her ad is fantastic.
Yesterday, after President Trump's endorsement, the company's stock price jumped over 23%.
All right, well, be on the lookout for bogus Labubus. Yes, Labubus. I just Googled it because I'd never heard of that. That is a message, though, from the Better Business Bureau.
Yeah, you don't want a Lafufu. That's what the fake ones are called.
Oh, that's funny.
I know too much about these. They're reminding consumers that online scammers are often on the prowl trying to take advantage of these hot toy trends. The Labubu is the hot toy of the moment, but more than 70 people have reported purchasing counterfeit Labubus. They thought they were getting the real ones and got either a fake or nothing at all.
No one has time for a Lafufu.
No,
did I say that right?
No, yes, you did.
It is National Night Out, and it's bringing big celebrations to cities and towns all over the state.
And coming up at 5:30, we will show you the festivities in Wethersfield and beyond.
And other than the smoke, the weather's certainly cooperating for a National Night Out. Tomorrow, we're expecting temperatures to be seasonably cool for this time of year. We're forecasting highs in the mid and upper 70s to near 80 degrees throughout the Litchfield Hills, closer to 80 or so in the greater Hartford area, and we'll see upper 70s across the quiet corner of northeastern Connecticut. Wind stays out of the east, which actually helps to bring some fresher air back into the state. Shoreline towns, upper 70s, but as soon as you head inland in our southern four counties, we're expecting lower 80s. Air quality tomorrow is forecast to be moderate statewide, an improvement over where we are today. We are going to go more in depth on the wildfires and the air quality on our First Alert Weather Extra, streaming live at 9:30 on WFSB Plus, so you can join us then if you're interested. Tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy skies, staying dry, turning brighter Thursday, with full sunshine on the way on Friday. Just how long the dry weather lasts and if we have to worry about any showers for the weekend, coming up in the First Alert forecast after the break.
Warmer temperatures and high humidity are leading factors in the spike of tick bites. The number of people needing emergency care for tick bites in the country has reached its highest level in 8 years. And CDC data shows a continuing rise in reported cases of Lyme disease. In addition to the heat, ticks are also popping up in more areas. Well, let's get to some other news so we don't have to look at that. The news continues right now at 5:30 with Stephanie.
No one likes that tick footage, Erin. All right, thank you. Let's get to the big stories right now at 5:30. National Night Out is bringing communities and first responders together for some fun. We will bring you live to one celebration. And a mystery of sculptures in Watertown. They're causing concerns for some residents, but we found out it's all for a big milestone.
And here's a live look at our iCam in Rocky Hill, which shows that we can barely make out the buildings in Hartford. So visibility not great because of that smoke sticking around. Impacts to air quality, too. We'll be timing out when it finally leaves us alone. Plus, if we can expect any showers over the next 7 days in the First Alert forecast.